Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. It is me, Amir, and today we are going to be playing Elden Ring, but we're not just going to be playing Elden Ring. Today I'm going to be seeing if I can beat Elden Ring with using only fist weapons. So, like the Star Fist, which that's what I really want to use, an Iron Ball, or the other ones. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but I'm not going to use those ones. I'm going straight for the Iron Balls first, and then I'm going to go for the Star Fist. If you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think. And let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, here we are, character selection. Let's make a beautiful name for my character. Alright, looks great. Iron Man, loving it so far. And then after that, as soon as I get my character done, we're gonna go ahead and just get started with the run. But while I'm making my character, I'll just tell you this. The rules are pretty simple. I can only use fist weapons. I can only mainly kill bosses with fist weapons because, as I start off, I don't have the fist weapon or anything, so I gotta go get them. The only guy that I'm genuinely trying to kill is the blackguard dude. And I mean, as you can see from here, there's really no point in trying to fight this dude because, number one, I'm way under level and I suck at this game. Plus, I don't have the Iron Ball, so it wouldn't even matter. I can't kill him anyways because that ruins the whole purpose of the challenge. So let's go ahead, go to Limgrave. And before I go get the Iron Balls, though, I'm going to go do a little bit of stuff to go get stuff for my build. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, I got to acquire the flask, for healing and restoring FP. And then we're going to go head up here. And then I am usually, whenever it comes to White Manzvar, because I don't like that guy, usually I just instantly kill him all the time. But this time I'm actually going to do his quest line so I can get to Moog's Palace early so I can do a little rune farming. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit of a rune farmer, I won't lie, because I mean, when it comes to the Iron Fist, when you first get them, low key, you just be tickling people and it like just sucks. So, I gotta get my strength up and everything. Because when it comes to those weapons, man, it's just a tickle. They're the biggest tickle warriors in Elden Ring. And also, meanwhile, while even trying to do all that, we might as well head to Fort Hag first to get the one of the pieces to the Dectus medallion. We're gonna go ahead and go in here real quick and do that, and then after that, I am going to make my way to the Third Church of America, and then I'm gonna use the portal to warp to the Bestial Sanum, whatever it's called, and then go and get the other medallion there because I might as well do all that because I'm gonna go fight Radon and then go explore the other areas a little bit and do a little bit of extra stuff in the process of all that. So here we are right here. At first I'm like a little confused because it's been like a cool minute since I played. I'm over here like, is it down here? Nope, getting ambushed by those weird dudes and a bunch of rats. That's very nice. And we got a Nomadic Warriors cookbook. Nice. Probably not going to use it for this run, but I do need to go get a cookbook that I will be using for the run, the Fever's cookbook for the Godskin duels whenever it comes to take them out. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Right now I'm going to go over here, get the medallion, and then get on out of here and head to the Third Church of America. See you shortly when I'm there. All right, there we got it. Bravo, bravo, got one of the parts. All right, now let's go ahead and head to the Third Church of America. All right, here we are. We're going to go ahead on the way to the Third Church of America to pick up the Sacred Tear and to get the Wondrous Flask, or what is it? The Wondrous Flask, right? Is that what it's called? Holy crap! You can tell I have not played in a minute. Honestly, I don't really pay attention too much to the items because I know what they do and I know what they are and I know what they're used for. So I kind of just grab them and then I just hurry up and go do the next thing I need to do, the level with my character and level with my other stuff. But we're gonna go ahead, head there, grab that stuff, and then we're gonna go ahead and take the teleporter to Caelid, and then after that we're gonna get a couple graces, and then I'm gonna go to the other fort to get the other half of the medallion. And I was looking at him because later on, once I get my balls, I'm gonna go kill that dude because I need them golden seeds. You know what I mean? I'm desperate for them. So yeah. And we made it safely. That is good. We're gonna go ahead and pick up the Sacred Tear, and then we're gonna go ahead and pick up the Wondrous Flask because we need that, or the Wondrous Physic, whatever it's called. Same thing. It's a flask of the wondrous physic. It's, bruh, it's whatever. Y'all know what it is. Some of y'all play Elden Ring, even if y'all didn't. Y'all know what it is. We're gonna go ahead and upcharge these, and then we're gonna go ahead and take the transmitter to Kaylet, go get the other medallion. Then we're probably gonna head on over there, activate the medallion, get a grace over there, and then the Radon Festival should be active. And then after all that, we're also gonna, well, actually, no. Also, now I think about it, I also need to go and get the Flame Grant Me Strength for my build. I need to get that. I think I need to get the Strength Nox tier as well. There's so much I need to do with this build because it's so much potential I can make with this build, I think. And also another thing that I forgot to mention as I sat down at this grace over here, getting prepared to go in there, I forgot that I have not unlocked the round table yet, so I was forced to go there against my will. And then after that, I will be back to get the medallion now. So let's go ahead and skip on over. Alright, back where we started. Now let's go up in here and get the other part of the medallion. And also we're going to get Radagon's Skirt Seal to boost all of our other stats while also increasing the damage that we take for now, because since I am only like level 10, I'm not going to be able to do much with my build right now. Obviously I'll be able to wield the Fisk, but still I'm not going to be able to do much damage or anything without it, so we're going to need that as well. After that, we're going to go ahead and go and get prepared for more stuff for our build, and then we're going to be eventually ready to go take on Margit. And also another thing I want to show you guys, I'm about to go ahead and get the score seal. Alright, now a bunch of enemies are aggro and against me. You can just honestly quit out and save the game, and then once you load back into the game, the enemies will be de-aggroed, and then after that you can just teleport to whichever grace you want to go to, which is pretty cool. And you know, I mean, it's a really good thing to know, so that you can just take advantage of that and use that at any time whenever you're in a sticky situation where you're just trying to grab something and leave and get on out. So just to let you know, see, now they're off me, I could go ahead and just teleport wherever, and we're good. I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. And alright, so now I'm over here at Fort Gil. I'm at Fort Gil because one of the incantations I'm going to be using is Flame Grant Me Strength, and then I'm going to be using it with the Ash of War Golden Vow for extra buffs. And then also I need to go ahead and also get Crag Blade, which I do eventually. I do all of this stuff, don't worry about it. So let's go ahead, get to Flame Grant Me Strength, and then we're gonna go ahead and make our way over to get some more buffs. And after that, I'm gonna go eventually take on the Blackguard and take the Iron Balls, man. I know, I mean, I should have probably, now I think about it, when doing this run, when starting this run, I probably should have went for the Iron Balls first and then went to go get the other stuff, because I can't really kill anybody or any other enemies, honestly, without the Iron Balls. So I don't know what I was thinking, but it is what it is. I know I did this kind of weird. This is like my first time trying to do like a little challenge thing like this at all, and I know it's a little unorganized and a little bit weird, but hey, I just started playing Elden Ring not too long ago. I only beat it like 4 times and beat the DLC like 2 times. Man, I'm still new to these Souls games and stuff like that, so yeah, forgive me on that. And despite all of that, as I was getting some other stuff and all of that, my stream decided to crash, so I don't have any video proof of anything else that I got, which is why I probably should have been streaming and also recording at the same time. But it is what it is. I don't know. Something just happened with my internet, and it got a little weird, and everything just crashed, and everything was so sad. So I was just standing there in the middle of there, so awkward, man, because I was just so sad and it was so devastating. But it is what it is. Now it is definitely time to go get the Iron Balls for sure. Alright, here we are. Here I go. I start to fight this guy a little bit because I'm gonna need his weapon, man. I'm gonna need his weapon. So, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'm so sorry, buddy, but like, hey, man, I need your weapon. I ain't gonna lie, he almost killed me here, man. This dude started going crazy, man. Especially like since his weapon comes with like a buff thing, he could buff whenever he wanted, but he wasn't even using his buff at this time, man. Bro just like started going ham on me, man. I ain't gonna lie, he almost killed me, man. Cause you know, I suck at this game. I'm probably like one of the worst people to ever play this game, you know. But that is a-okay. Because, you know, You gotta just get good, you know what I mean? So eventually I fight him off. I think he heals here. Doesn't he heal here? Oh no, he goes in for a roar. I go in for that. I miss that. And then he goes over that. And then I go for a heal. And then I almost die going for that heal too. And then he decides to buff himself even more. But then I got him right there because he decided to. I don't know why he's decided to step back there, but I don't know why I'm talking about him like he's a player. Anyways, I got the iron balls now, so I can get rid of the bronze sword, which is not my favorite weapon. But neither are the iron balls, but it's okay. Alright, now I headed back to Stormhill, and I am on my way to go and get Golden Vow. I got lost trying to find this guy for a little bit. I'm like, where's he at? And I'm like, oh, there he is. And I go ahead and prep myself a little bit because I ain't gonna lie, some of these knights be scary, especially when I first started playing the game. Well, honestly, every enemy was scary when I first started playing the game because Elden Ring was one of my first Souls game, and besides Lord of the Fallen, but we don't talk about it because that's not a Soulsborne type of game. That's not made by FromSoft. But I thought that I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, those type of knights, they just scared me for the first time playing. Man, like I didn't know what to do to kill them or anything. I learned how to parry and everything. But anyways, enough talk about how bad I used to be at the game. I got Golden Vow, so now I'm going to go back and purchase a dagger from the Twin Maiden Husk and then apply Golden Vow onto the dagger so that I could be able to buff myself even more with that. Very beautiful, right? And here they are, the most beautiful twins in the entire game. In the entire FromSoft history, I should have had, actually. Nah, let me stop. Alright, now we got the dagger. Now I gotta go to Hugh because I still haven't unlocked the Asher Wars settings for my, to be able to set them up on the grace. At least I don't think I did yet. So I gotta go to Master Hugh, set that up, and then we should be A-okay. I think after all of this, I should be good to go and take on Margaret and then Godric after that. And then even if so, after doing all that, I wanted to go get the Glintstone key to Rhea Lucaria so that I could be able to enter there. But not only that, also so I can go ahead and go to Altus Plateau, get a grace so that the festival would be ready for Radon. So I went ahead and did all that, got that all set up, went to Altus Plateau, but honestly, I don't need to show all that, man. That's just doing way too much, and I'm wasting all this time. I still have not fought a boss or anything, so let me try to hurry up and get all that. This has just been me exploring and explaining whatever, man. Let me just try to hurry up and get to some of the action already. I'm so sorry this is taking so long, guys. Alright, well, skipping a lot of what just happened, I went and fought a couple of bosses. I got the Crag Blade, I got the Spike Thorn tier, and the Green Spill tier. So now I am pretty much ready to take on Margit. Also, I went to go fight Patches, get Margit Shackle, and then after all that, we are ready to go ahead against our first boss encounterment of the game so far. And then we're going to see how we do. I should definitely do good in this fight because it was pretty easy with all of this stuff that I have done to prepare for the fight, with leveling up and applying these buffs, and getting Margit Shackle, of course, because, I'm trying to just rush through this and hurry up. So I go ahead, use the Shackle. I got the Axe Talisman as well. I forgot to tell you that as well. So I can be able to, do more damage to him and also be able to stance break him easier. Do that. Then I go up here. Boom. Boom. And we do one more charge attack. And Margit is dead just like that. That was a quick and easy, good fight. Not only that, got the other talisman pouch so I can equip the Axe Talisman. And then we're going to head for Godric right on after this. I got to level up some first, though. Alright, here we are. Now we're leveled up and we're about ready to go take on Godric. Hopefully nothing can go wrong. I'm going to go ahead and talk to this guy so I can sneak past and get access to the other area. And then I'm going to do a little short jump that can basically get me to Godric as soon as possible. So I kill him because this guy, as soon as he says, yeah, we'll sneak over, he's going to trap you in a room and try to kill you and all of that. And then for some reason, I decided to be an idiot and fall off the map. Hopefully I won't do that again, right? Right? Alright, here we go. We're going to do that little skip thing I was talking about to get to Godric a little bit earlier. We should get this on the first attempt, right? I've been doing it for a little bit. I'm a pro Elden Ring gamer, right? And we're gonna need to do a reset and try to make sure that we make that jump next time. All right, here's take two. We're definitely gonna do it this time, man. The second time, you already know, man. Oh, that was a close one. All right, then I got a little confused over here, but we're gonna just roll off over here, kind of here, run past all these enemies as soon as possible, just so I can hurry up and get to Godric. You know what I mean? Because we gotta run that fade with Godric, and then I gotta go fight Renala after that to get her Great Rune as well afterwards. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, so we made it to one of the graces that we have to get to in order to fight the Godric. I went to go get a golden seed and got chased by a very big troll, so that was pretty scary. But other than that, I am about ready to go on and take on Godric. So we're gonna go ahead, take him on quickly because he's one of the easiest bosses in the entire game. He's pretty much a joke. So yeah, we're gonna do our prep, put our buffs in, and go ahead and take on Godric. This shouldn't be too hard at all, right? Right. All right, let's see what kind of damage that we can do. Hey, not bad. That's pretty good. This shouldn't be too hard at all, right? Because, he's a clown. And, you could just low-key beat him up. See, look at him already broke his stance already. All right, we already got him transitioning into second phase already. So, I mean, man, oh man. This fight should be a breeze still, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and just rush up here because he can completely miss you as soon as you run under that. There we go. And also, I did actually end up missing one of those hits beforehand because the balls, low key, their hitbox is kind of weird, but it's alright because we still take on Godric and defeat him with ease. Now it's time to go get the Red Wolf of Radagon and Renala. But also, as I was thinking about it, before I fight them, I should definitely go ahead and try to get the bell bearing, the smithing stone bell bearing. But as I was going to do that, I realized I went to the wrong cave and on accident. I think I got the somber smite and stone bell bearing 2, I believe. But hey, that's an extra one that I have for whenever I want to play this and not do this challenge. But the bell bearing is kind of useless in this run anyway because I'm just going to be using these balls and that's it. So let's go ahead and fast forward and get to the battles with the Red Wolf of Radagon and Renala because I know you guys are here to see the action. You guys don't want to see me doing these lame old side quests. Alright, I got everything I needed. I upgraded my weapons a little bit and leveled up a little bit. Now I believe I'm ready to go on and take on these people. Raya Lucaria, one of the greatest areas to be in. Honestly, my first playthrough though, it was pretty scary. Gave me a lot of PTSD, especially with those zombified things that take your FP and HP every time they grab you. Oh my goodness. But it shouldn't be a problem now since I am pretty familiar with this game, but at the same time, I'm still pretty bad. But that is a-okay because, we learn and, we gotta just get good, That's the whole point of this gist of this game. All right, let's go ahead and do this real quick. All right, guys, here we are. We're by the gray spot where the Red Wolf of Radagon is. Honestly, the fight to me, I usually struggle with this fight, so low-key, when I was coming in here, I was definitely very nervous and very, very scared, especially with my build, because my build is nowhere near great right now. My build is awful. I literally am running the Radagon skill, and I am also running the Axe Talisman, and that is it. But at the end of the day, I only have 3 Talisman. That's why I came here to fight Renala, so I can go ahead and get another third Talisman pouch. And then after that, I'm going to have to go and fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel and then go fight Godfrey. And then I'll be able to get the 4th Talisman. Then I'll be able to put all of that on there. Also, I'm going to want to go ahead and try to fight Moog, the one that's under Lindell Capital. Fight that one. And then after that, get the Erdtree Favor +1, I believe. Equip that because that's going to go in my build so I can have more health, stamina, and equipment load. One of my favorite talisman in the entire game, honestly. But here we go. We're gonna go ahead, take on the Red Wolf of Radagon, even though he was low-key cooking me right here because I always struggle with this fight because I don't know, I feel like he's just a little weird and I just don't remember his pattern. But look at that damage. That damage is beautiful, but then again, he doesn't have a lot of health, so it wasn't too bad trying to fight him. And then there we go. The Red Wolf of Radagon has fell. So sorry, Wolfie. I don't like you though. You're not Sif. Boo. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and try to take on everybody's favorite Foot Queen, Renala. Ouch, that really hurt. Alright, let's get up here. And as I thought I was in the clear, honestly, I forgot all about this knight. And I'm like, oh my goodness, because I always struggle against this knight. But I was able to actually take them down because, you know, I'm just that good. And I was just spamming jump attacks because I was scared that they were going to try to parry me because, you can't parry jump attacks on here. And every time I try to do a normal attack, they always just whip their shield out and parry me. And then they take a lot of damage. And with how low my vigor is, I'm scared that, they're going to parry me and kill me in one hit. So, yeah. Honestly, I was full on surprised that I beat her up. I was thinking, maybe I should go back to the Grace, but at the same time, I was like, nah, Renala's not that hard. She's just a little bit passive, and she knows she summons them dragons and stuff, but she won't be too bad at all. But here we are, we're by the door. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to take on Renala. Usually I always die at least once trying to fight her, but I'm just that good at this game. I'm too good at this game. Alright, here we are prepared to go ahead and try to take on Renala. But first, I gotta go ahead and beat up her lame, nerdy children real quick, because we do not respect, at least on this channel, we do not respect intelligence users. Alright, I'm just playing. But at the same time, magic users can be annoying a little bit, can be scary, can give you PTSD. Let's see the damage on her. That's beautiful damage. There we go. We love the damage, man. And another thing about the balls is that they do have a really fast charge attack, and it does do beautiful damage. So it's really good to take advantage of that from the balls. I will say that that's one good thing from the balls, but at the same time, they're a bit annoying to use because sometimes when you attack, it doesn't count as a hit. Whenever you're like standing right on them, right in front of their face, and it doesn't count as a hit, which is kind of stupid and weird. But at the same time, for me, it might just be a skill issue. I don't know, because I'm not the best at this game, but I'm not that bad, right? Right, guys? Oh, this is so depressing. Oh my goodness. But as I was playing through this, since this is like my, fourth or fifth playthrough, I think this is like my fifth character overall. I did predict the Bloodhound coming out and all of that, but still, I kind of struggle with this fight because I always struggle against people that use magic and stuff, man. It's just so annoying, especially since usually my priority builds are strength builds, and most strength characters don't have a brain, and that's basically me. My playstyle was to just go up to her, run up to her, and be aggressive, which is what you should do. But at the same time, I would try to get greedy all the time. Like, I saw that stuff coming, and I tried to get greedy, and I got punished so hard. I need to not do stuff like that at all. And down goes Renala. Up next is going to be the Draconic Tree Sentinel, unfortunately. And that dragon did not have to do me like that, but it's going to be the Draconic Tree Sentinel because I got to get into Lendo. And oh my goodness, I'm so not ready for that fight. That fight always had me struggling. I think the Draconic Tree Sentinel is harder than Godfrey, the hologram Godfrey, and Morgoth, if I'm being honest with you. Alright, so I figured the best thing to do after fighting Renala was to just straight up and go ahead and try to fight the Tree Sentinel now, the Draconic Tree Sentinel now, just to get that out the way because I really hate that boss. It always gives me PTSD, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, here we are, time to do a little prep time, and then it's time to go ahead and fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel. Let's see what we can do against it. Honestly though, I didn't have a hard time fighting this thing at all. that I thought I was going to have, but it was actually pretty easy this time. I guess I was sleeping on the fist way too much. So let's go ahead and check out this damage. Not awful. Yeah, no, ooh, that's great damage. Not awful. Got a stance break already because I'm using the spike tier, but not bad at all. Got him in the second phase, but his health is just depleting. See, he got another stance break, and then after that, he's dead. That was like not even a full minute of fighting that guy, and I cooked him already, man. Wow. Alright, now that I'm done with all of that, I figured the best thing to do before taking on Godfrey was to go and get the Starfist, because that's the weapon I've been looking to use for this challenge run. I think I really like the Starfist better than the Iron Balls, which I ain't gonna lie though. The Iron Balls are pretty good. I'm actually starting to like them. This was my first time ever using them because at first I didn't know how to get them until I saw another video about them, which honestly I didn't hear about them until that video. And then I was like, all right, I'll probably try to go get those. And then I was like, hold on, why not do a challenge run where I do this instead? But all right, let's make our way to get to Starfist because I really want to use those. And then let's go take on Godfrey real quick. And then after that, Morgott, because we're going to try to get the Smithing Stone Bell Bearing 3 so I can upgrade my fist even higher before fighting any other big major bosses. And nicely done, Tarnish. All right, let's go ahead and run ahead back. Go upgrade them real quick and get ready for Godfrey. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and try to take on Godfrey. I won't lie, this was a bit of a difficult challenge for me because I'll be honest, when it comes to playing this, usually I use Mimic Tier, but I decided no summons at all, so it was a bit difficult. But for now on, as I play Elden Ring for a little while, I'm not going to be using Mimic Tier or any summons at all because I personally want to grow and get better at the game. So I'm deciding even for other challenges I decide to do, or whenever I'm playing and streaming or whatever, or just making vids, I'm not going to use summons anymore because I got my butt kicked. I was like, man, this fight's actually hard. Man, usually I'm used to not struggling or anything, but since I decided no summons or anything, I was getting low-key cooked. Low-key, I was doing good on this fight, but I was getting a little too aggressive and getting too greedy, and I eventually died. He was right there at the end, and I decided to make a stupid decision right there and heal. So I kind of died, and then, like I said, I would get a little too arrogant, but then I got humbled, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to be a little more patient, because my Mimic Tier ain't here to distract him while I'm trying to be aggressive and fight him constantly. So eventually I got it, and I will surpass him. All right, so this is the run right here. I actually get him, but then again, I was making a bunch of stupid mistakes here and there. And also, when it came to his stomps, I wasn't realizing that, if you're far away, you can't dodge him like you can in close range. If you want to dodge him, you got to hug on him. And also, I was taking bad chances to heal like I did right there. That was very unnecessary right there. Like, I was just making so much mistakes, but eventually I got him, so I got a little chance to experience Godfrey before I got to fight him again without any summons or anything. I know, but then again, eventually I just got it, and I eventually beat him because that's the way how. Now I think about it, I'm gonna stop using summons overall in general as well because I want to grow in this game and actually get better at the game and actually become a really really good Elden Ring gamer or player. But with all of that being said, instead of going to fight Morgott yet, I decided why not go take on Star Scourge Radahn so I can start Ronnie's quest. And the only reason why I'm really doing Ronnie's quest, which unfortunately I'm trying to go ahead and get Blad's drip. I want his armor because his armor, after I got it, it basically carried me through the game. Even though, yeah, he's one of my favorite NPCs and I hate killing him, his armor has done me a lot whenever it came to this game. So I decided, why not? Let's go take on Radahn now. And I got something crazy to show y'all as I'm fighting Radahn. Let's get to it. All right, here we are. We're already prepped up. I'm already ready. I'm low-key kind of nervous, and I'm like, what kind of damage this does? Missed the first attack, hit the second attack. Pretty decent damage. Probably enough to take him out, most likely, hopefully. And after that, bro just starts going ham. So I just hit his foot kind of. But dude, it's crazy because like after a while, I just start playing tag with him. He just keeps running and keeps running and keeps running, and I'm just running and I'm just running, and I'm so confused. I'm like, what is going on with his AI? He's like out of control. I was like really scared because I've never seen Radon do this before, and then I decided to like stand there for a little bit and aura farm for after a minute or so. I should stop chasing him soon enough. I don't know why I'm still chasing after him like this when we're just going crazy at each other. After that, we just aura farm, and then he does that. I go attack him some more. Man, oh man, this fight was weird. I was not expecting the first try this because I ain't even gonna lie. I know he's been nerfed and all of that, but he's still kind of scary, at least in my opinion. Big old dude on a small horse, going crazy, going ham at everybody. And I go back to my business spamming RT, going crazy right here a little bit. Like, I was expecting phase 2 to get a little bit more difficult and more infuriating, but it wasn't that bad because I got a stance break here. Then I decided to just go ahead and finish him off. Good fight, Radon. That was easier than what I expected. Let's move ahead and go on some more. After that, I think I did do some exploring for Narcella a little bit to get some Irani's quest line done. And even so, after that, I decided to go take on Morgot, and then I met up with the Black Knight Assassin, who decided to scare me, which I hate fighting because bro is fast. And I mean fast. I mean, it's still a beautiful little mini fight, but bro, you don't need to be this fast on me, man. Chill out. And after all that, I prepare to go take on Morgot. And boy, oh boy, get ready because you guys are about to see how bad at the game I am due to me not having the Mimic Tier and being so used to having a Mimic Tier where I can just go ahead and beat this guy up in a few hits or so or whatever. Plus, I was using a build that I'm not used to using, so that's also a little bit different because usually I go for like a great sword or the great stars and do heavy attacks and just proceed to, kill him in like 4 hits or whatever depending on the build. But I decided I want to stop making like super overpowered builds like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna make strength builds, don't get me wrong. I love strength in all like Souls games and stuff like that. So I decided, yeah, you know what, let's continue doing that, but let's try not to make it like super OP. Going on and over on when it comes to these games, I'm low-key just looking forward to improve and get good, as most people would say. And so after a few struggling, I get another stance break and Morgot is finished. Good fight as always, Morgot. I have high respect. I ain't gonna lie, out of all the bosses in Elden Ring, I really respect Morgot and Radon. I really respect them. They're awesome. Love their fights. But anyways, even after all that, now it is time to make our way to the Snowy Mountains of the Giants and grab the Bell Bearing 3, I believe. And then we are good to upgrade the weapons some more and continue the journey. Alright, here we go. Right here, we have officially gotten the Smithing Stone Bell Bearing 3, and now it is time to go ahead and upgrade the weapons some more. And then after that, I'm contemplating, do I want to go do Alexander's quest line to get the his shard, or do I want to just go to fight the fire giant, or I don't know. I think I'm gonna do his quest line because that is a good shard, and I love Alex, but man, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need his shard. All right, after upgrading this weapon a little bit, I figured it was time to go ahead and make on my way to go fight the fire giant. But I decided to go get the Rivers of Blood, but not literally for the Rivers of Blood, but just for another sacred tier to be able to upgrade my health replenishment. Alright, now I'll be honest, I definitely did struggle a lot with this fight. Not because it's really that hard. It's not really that hard of a fight. It's just a really stupid fight because all this guy does is just run away, and he's like one of the most passive people when it comes to playing Elden Ring. So the fight, low-key, took me a few tries, kind of made me mad, kind of making me want to just be like, yo, it ain't worth it right now. I'm gonna get off for tonight. But eventually I got him and the same night. But he's just a little annoying. Honestly, Fire Giant can't eat it. And when it came to fighting him, most of the time, I would get him down super duper low, and then he would do something and mainly one shot me. Even if I had full health, sometimes he would still just one shot me. But on this attempt, I did eventually get him. I don't even know. It took me probably like 13 attempts altogether, from being honest with you. I just still in the back and hit his back leg. Still, I get, yeah, his hands are weak, but still, it's a bit scary to fight him a bit in close range, even with all of that. I mean, it's not that bad, but then again, I don't use the fist weapons all like that. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I can to fight him the way I can get him. So yeah, eventually, the fire giant is going to go down during this run. I just run back over here, start hitting his legs and stuff a little more. And I whiff that attack because I suck with using the fist, because I'm the worst Elden Ring player out there, if I'm being honest with you. And there we go. Fire Giant is no more. Now it is time to head to Crumbling Azula. And then I gotta go fight the Godskin duel. And then after that, I gotta go fight Alexander. Unfortunately, gotta go put my buddy down to get his shard, which I'm not gonna use in this playthrough. But I just figured, yo, whenever I want to play on this character again, I got it in case I want to make an insane build. You know what I mean? Alright, so our favorite maiden baddie puts us to sleep and then disappears on us. And now it is time for us to go ahead and fight the Godskin duel, then go fight Alex, and then go fight another tree sentinel, unfortunately, and then go fight Malekith. And then after that, we're going to see something pretty interesting. Just hold up, guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, our favorite boss battle. Unfortunately for them, it's going to be easy because I got sleep pox, so we're going to go ahead and use those and go ahead and cook them real quick, because ain't nobody doing this fight regularly and trying to fight two of them off all at once. We're not doing all that, man. Here, we're going to just skip all that, because I ain't going to lie, they're bad enough by themselves. Two of them on hands makes everything even worse. So, nah, I'm not doing that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So far, would you look at that? Look at me. I'm getting so much better at the game because I am using these tactics that could have been used during like my first playthrough. Oh my goodness, my first playthrough fighting these guys were awful. Oh my goodness, I had no idea what to do. I would lose multiple times, even with the mimic tier. It was terrible, man. Like, fighting them gave me so much PTSD. That's why they're my least favorite boss battle. Like, honestly, but yeah, once you get sleep pots or something, they're not that bad at all. They're pretty easy, honestly. Like, and plus, since the starfish actually leave slow bleed buildup, they can also cause bleed buildup for them as well. So that comes in neat as well. I love how this guy tried to dodge the sleeping pot, but his character got stuck, so I had to put him to sleep anyway. So that was pretty funny. And down goes the Godskin too. Alright, time to go put down our favorite buddy, unfortunately. Alright, man, here we go. I'm so sorry, man. Honestly, I don't want to do this, man, but I need your talisman. That's all, man. I promise. I ain't gonna lie, the fact that I two hit him, I didn't even use buzz or anything, makes me even more sad. Well, I think I might have used the physic, but that's about it. That still made me even hurt even more. I should have just fought him fairly without using charge attacks. Alright, here we are, the second Draconic Tree Sentinel. Honestly, I was suspecting this to fight to take me way longer than it did, but it did not. I had to do a little test experiment because I was a bit curious to see if he was able to be weak to sleep. Then bro just started stomping on me, but They can be slept for like a little bit, but it's not that effective. So I figured, all right, it's kind of pointless trying to use sleep on these boys. So I just went ahead, fought them regularly, and Loki. I am surprised that it did not take me longer to. It only took me one attempt to fight him, which I was surprised because usually I struggle with this Draconic Tree Sentinel because I mean it's a Draconic Tree Sentinel. They're so annoying. I hate them. When it comes to the regular ones, though, I don't mind fighting the regular ones, but the draconic ones be scary. Alright, let's go ahead and get ready for Malekith, though. Alright, here we are. Honestly, I struggled with this fight very little, but it honestly wasn't that bad. Like, you'll see, after fighting this guy, I struggled with one of the easier bosses. And I honestly feel so embarrassed. Usually I struggle with Malekith, and I never struggle with Gideon. So I don't know. It's just a little weird to me. I don't know how. I don't know. But then again, I did take a few L's on here, but for Gideon, oh my goodness, I just lost so much aura. It was awful. See, and I love how as I'm looking at that, I had a whole entire punish window right there that I could have went with, but instead I was like too scared. And then I tried to punish that, which was really stupid. Oh my goodness, I was making so many mistakes. But then again, guys, listen, I am not that good. Elden Ring is my first Soulsborne game. Don't get me wrong, I've played Souls games before, but I've played more of like the Souls-like games, like Lords of the Fallen and other stuff. But um, when I play Elden Ring, it was a huge step from those games. But honestly, out of all the games I've played, Elden Ring is my favorite. And now that I've played like other games like Lords of the Fallen and Mortal Shell, I'm like, they just cannot come close to Elden Ring at all. But yeah, so I'm still learning some of the moveset from the bosses. Like I said, I only beat this game like 4 times. I only have like 300 and something hours in it, man. I am not that good at all. But I do plan on getting better. That's why I decided for this run. No summons, no mimics here, none of the spirit ashes because don't get me wrong, they're great. Especially like Mimic Tier is goaded. Mimic Tier is goaded. The Black Knife Assassin is goaded. But honestly, I'm over here just thinking, and I'm sorry I'm yapping a little bit, but I do want to say when it comes to like playing these games, I'm not gonna really learn with my mimics here just distracting them while I go and beat them up and just be super aggressive and go crazy and go ham on them like a gorilla or something. I'm not gonna learn anything. I'm not gonna grow. I'm not gonna be able to get good in a sense. That's why like yo, Loki, I was struggling with Dark Souls for a minute, but then I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. In some ways, Elden Ring's easier than Dark Souls, but in some ways Dark Souls is easier because as I was playing, I'm like, hold on, things are kind of like janky and slow. So the bosses are a bit easier. Even though I did struggle on Night of Taurus, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if I want to fight man. It's the DLC bosses. But as I realize, back to what I'm saying though, even like as I play like Dark Souls and stuff, I can't count on that. I can't count on a mimic tier or anything else for the fights. Now I did when it comes to summoning. Okay, the only bosses I summoned for was the Bell Gargoyles, which I think I could have eventually got them if I would have just, you know, figured out what I was doing. But at that time, I was just like, yo, I'm trying to get this done. And then Ornstein and Smoke. That's when I was like, nah, man. I'm definitely summoning this for somebody. I'm not fighting this thing with myself, man. My build was terrible. My weapons were terrible and not really fully upgraded. And I couldn't go back and upgrade them. But I could have went to the Giant, but I didn't know where else to find the Tie Knight. But yeah, as I'm saying though, when it comes to the mechanics and stuff for the Elden Ring and stuff, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. Mimic tier, great. Summoning, great. Any of the spirit ashes, great. They cause distractions. They help you out during the fight, and if you upgrade them, they do definitely more damage. But the reason why I decided, like I said, the reason why I don't want to like do the summoning thing or anything like that because I'm not gonna really grow if I just have them help me fight these battles while I sit back and then wait for the bosses to go aggro at them. I'm not gonna be able to grow in that sense. At the same time, I'm just gonna be looking at them and beating them all up. And I'm sorry, I'm just yapping, but that's just my opinion. But honestly, they're great. There's nothing wrong with using them at all. I'm not gonna be like those people that be like, no, you gotta beat the game. No summons, no spirit ashes, nothing at all. Do it with a bronze sword only. Do it blindless. Do it hitless, and then you're gonna be good at the game. I'm not like that, but I just want to do this in order to be able to grow and get good. Sorry for out of yapping. Let's continue with the video. It was taking me a little minute, but I was just sitting here being a little bit more patient and trying to analyze his pattern a little bit. I'm not trying to get greedy all the time because that's what I do. Like I said, I was so used to the mimic tier backing me up. I used to just be so aggressive, but nah, I gotta stop. I learned here that there's a window, and then I got a stagger here, and I was like, all right, I definitely win the fight as long as I don't get greedy and do anything to mess up. I figured there was more free hits here, so I took advantage of that there. Now he's low, but still I had to play it safe and wait for everything to be open and for me to have a good chance to be able to attack him. So I did that. I figured he was gonna do that, and then he got me a little bit. But then I was like, all right, I could just hit him a few more times, and the fight's over. All right. Also, here we go. So I struggled a lot with Sir Gideon because again, number one, I'm not used to using the Starfish or anything, but also I'm not gonna blame. Oh, he's spamming. He's spamming. I'm not gonna blame that on him at all because I mean it's Sir Gideon. Like if you just like give him the chance, of course he's gonna take the opportunity and do a little spams and stuff. But the reason, like I said, I was just being way too hyper aggressive on him, and I was making really dumb decisions, and I wasn't watching my stamina because look, my stamina is just depleting like crazy. And I was, like I said, I was just being so aggressive and making so many poor decisions. I'm like, why is this fight so hard? Like, I'm trying to play, which I rarely used the mimic tier on when fighting him because I always thought he was a pretty easy boss. So I would never use the mimic tier. But then again, um, I didn't have like enough stamina to even go with my playstyle, which usually I have higher stamina, but since the weapons that I'm using are light equip load anyway. I mean, not light equip load, but they aren't that heavy as the weapons I'm used to using. Like, I usually main like strength and use like great swords, the great stars, other heavy weapons like that. So I didn't have like a whole lot of stamina or anything that I could go ahead and just low key be aggressive with and fight. So I ended up struggling with this fight badly due to that. Like I said, I'm not gonna blame. Oh, Sir Gideon, he's just spamming. He's a mage. That's not fair or whatever. I was just making poor decisions, and not only that, I was leaving myself open and not dodging the holy light things as well. And as I would try to go get close to him, I would always just choke and do a little hesitation. I really sucked during this fight, so I struggled a whole lot trying to fight him. And that's fine though, because eventually I learned. I stopped streaming for a little bit, which the Twitch is Amir0204. I'll probably leave a link to that if you want to go follow. That's fine. If you don't, I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, I decided to stop for a little bit. But then I was like, oh wait, nah, I got it. And that's when I learned, yo, low key, I cannot be going as aggressive as I can, especially with this playstyle. I don't have enough stamina or equipment load or anything like that for it at all. All right, here we go though. This is where I actually did well, and I did go ahead and finish off Sir Gideon. So I'll let you guys look at that, and then we'll continue on to get to Godfrey, and then after that, I'll explain something else. Another thing that as I was fighting him, I would use the pillars to also block any of his coming spells like that as well. I started doing that a little bit more often, which is something that I've never done. But then I thought, hey, why not do this instead? As I came to the rings, I would just low key back up in a corner over here to try to keep him off me. As it came to those, yeah, I would just run out of it, out of the way. I don't know how that third one didn't hit me though. I'll be honest. I didn't dodge or anything. I don't think. Like after that, oh man, I almost choked so bad over here. Like, oh my goodness, it was almost awful. I'm surprised I didn't die there at all. But um, this was the one. This was the run that got me to be able to pass him. And honestly, I'm proud that I'm learning instead of just trying the same strategy. I'm trying to do more things when it comes to fighting him instead of just going in with the same strategy and thinking, oh yeah, this will work for sure. Alright, after that, I figured it was time to go take on the big man himself, Horalu. Which honestly, I am so surprised that this did not take me super duper duper long. It took me about, I think, 2 or 3 tries to take him on, but still, it wasn't that bad at all. So let's go ahead and get into the fight. But honestly, I did make some stupid mistakes, obviously, and not dodging some of his stuff properly or doing the jump attacks properly. But overall, I didn't do as bad as usually I would expect to do. All right, here we go again. Time to go ahead and try this once more. Honestly, I'm about to say something, y'all. This might sound kind of crazy to y'all, but I think Horalu isn't as bad as Godfrey in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. At least for me, I don't think second phase Horalu is that bad. Now, first phase, for me, in my opinion, I used to struggle with him a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, second phase is still crazy, and he has some jump attacks and some dodges that you got to do at a very, very, very good and persistent time. I will say that. I'll be honest, it's a little weird, but that's just me. Me personally, I don't think he's that bad in second phase. Now, I did tank many hits for sure. That's why I like doing high vigor and stuff because I do get hit a lot because I'm so bad at dodging on this game. But the fight is over. Now, I will tell you after this, I contemplated, yo, do I want to just go ahead and fight Radagon and the Elden Beast, or do I want to go try to fight Melania? And I'll just be honest. I did try to go fight Melania. Things did not end well. Um, I only beat her with the mimic tier and everything. And obviously, my goal, another goal, personal goal for me, is to be able to beat her without the mimic tier or any summons or anything like that at all. But I didn't do it on this playthrough. But I did do it on a different playthrough with the Great Starts, which I do have recorded, and I will eventually drop that. But for now, let's get into the final battle in order to complete this game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to see straight on peak when it comes to fighting Radagon. I did go change up and rebirth to create the to make the Starfist do fire damage because Radagon does not like fire at all. So I figured why not make this a little bit more simple for me and make my life less miserable. I did get cooked though, but eventually, man, because like Radagon, I spent so much time on him. I did memorize a lot of his pattern, but here, I ain't gonna lie, it's been a minute since I played Elden Ring. I got cooked, but eventually y'all gonna see me dodging a lot of his attacks in a minute. Not on this fight. I got cooked. Outlook not so good. See, like I said, I just did awful. It's been a minute since I've like played Elden Ring, so um, it is what it is. And it, like I said, it took me time and a few time when it came to doing this challenge altogether compared to like fighting Margaret and going all the way up to them. Man, it took a little time because I've been kind of busy with some other stuff. But I'm about to see it in a minute. I'm about to like start being smooth with it, you know. Dang, by the way, I accidentally created this build. This build was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, it really hurt Radagon. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how he hit me there, but okay. There you go, dodge that. Broke his stance there. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is beautiful damage. Here we go, do that. I don't know how that missed, but okay. I don't know how that hit me, but bad dodge. Skill issue, I guess. That was a good dodge, though. And then here he comes. He does his little boom. Does his little boom. Does his little boom. And I dodge all that, man. I was so proud of myself doing all that to take him out just like that. And then, honestly, I think when it comes to Radagon and the Elden Beast, I think I've heard people say the Elden Beast definitely is a step ahead. I think personally, I think Radagon's harder in my opinion. I don't think the Elden Beast is that bad because the Elden Beast, the only problem with him is that he just tends to run a lot. Other than that, he's not that hard. Honestly, it's annoying, but I don't think he's as annoying as the Fire Giant. Oh my gosh, the Fire Giant killed me mentally. The other thing I want to say, honestly, this fight is so beautiful, man. The lighting and everything, honestly, it's so great. And man, honestly, I'm proud I had a little bit of practice that I remembered about that little thing. Honestly, I do want to like get pretty good to the point where I want to memorize like almost all the bosses in the game patterns and just cook them all, including Melania. That's why I want to fight her more often because practice makes perfect when it comes to that. I don't know about doing hit lists on her exactly because waterfowl dance just makes me so depressed because oh my goodness, I still don't know how to dodge that properly. But I'm getting a little sidetracked. Man, I'm putting that good work in, man. I'm so proud of myself using this weapon that I don't know how to use that I just whiffed like 90% of my attacks on because I suck at this game. Then we get a little stance break on that. That's beautiful. So we just take the opportunity to go ahead, attacking them a little bit. Honestly, I could have went for a third charge attack and then went for the repose. I don't know why I didn't do that, but it's whatever. This is a good fight. Honestly, I'm so proud of myself for dodging all of those, man. Oh my goodness, I don't know who I thought I would. I felt so good dodging. Well, most of them at least. The fourth one hit me because I always tend to forget that there's a fourth one. I always just think, oh, it's a 1, 2, 3 situation and it's over. But nah. But hey, it's gonna take time. Eventually, I'm gonna get better. I will improve at this game. Honestly, when it came to this part, I honestly forgot that I messed up so hard at this point that I ended up dying. I honestly forgot all about that, but man, after that, I was like, yo, I'm really learning this. Like, I was adapting so hard because, like I said, usually I'm used to making OP builds that just like, that will like 3, 4, 6 hit the bosses and then they're already dead. So this time, it feels a little different. But after that, I'm like, man, honestly, I gotta just like remember all their patterns and stuff like that. That's how you're supposed to play this game anyway. Well, I mean, you can play the game however you want. I don't really care, but um, that's not the way. I mean, that's the way how I want to do it. And I just realized I forgot that I fought Moog, but I'll just put that in afterwards, and then we'll get to the outro. All right, it's pretty much over. Good fight, Elden Beast. Glad that is pretty much over. Like I said, I forgot to put the fight with Mogan, but here it is before I forget. I fought him before I fought Radagon and the Elden Beast, and honestly, it was easier than what I expected. Let me just show you guys the clip and stuff. Honestly, I was not expecting it to be that easy. It would have been hitless if I didn't run into that bloody fire that he was throwing around, man. Which kind of makes me sad, but it would have been hitless. I would have been so proud of myself because the only boss I've did hitless was the golden hippopotamus one time. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. The video is over. Elden Ring is complete with fist weapons only. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think, and check me out on Twitch at Amir0204. I'll leave that in the description. And until next time, don't you dare touch the frenzy flame and the 3 fingers. Peace.